My name is Natasha Berg. I'm on the board of Oceanic Global, and I've also led on communication since the inception of the organization. And something that we've seen throughout our work, and I'm sure resonates with many of you in the room, is that when it comes to ocean conservation and the broader issues that impact us all, we need to have various ways of reaching people and communicating the breadth and the depth of what we're facing. Facts and statistics can only resonate so much. To encourage further participation, especially amongst those not already within the blue or green movement, we need to complement the science with mediums that appeal to emotion and that also touch our hearts. Our next speaker, Petroc Sesti, is not only using art as a way to communicate what words alone cannot, but his sculpture, Heart of Okeanos, co-commissioned with the Reefline, is the first ever carbon sink sculpture made with carbon negative materials. And it's being debuted here in our lobby for the first time ever, inspiring us while also actively making a difference at the same time. And with that, I'd like to welcome Petroc to share more of his story.
Hi there. So, where to start? It's great to be here. Thank you, Natasha, Oceanic Global, for the great work that you do. I'm an artist. The tale is quite simple. Do things because you like doing them, and that's it. It kind of changed when I was working with NASA, collaborating with them. I'm obsessed with science, I'll just say that. And NASA I was interested in solar flares on the sun, and they were telling me that they were pointing telescopes, space telescopes, away from the sun to concentrate on the Amazon burning. So that was one of those moments where I said, okay, well, if the scientists are really using these incredible telescopes to study the amount of CO2 coming out of the Amazon, maybe I should return to Earth as well with my ideas. I decided to do two artworks. One was tree beacon. So I went to the rainforests with the scientists studying these incredible trees. And they were laser scanning them to see how much CO2 is trapped in these trees. And so when you slash and burn, that CO2 goes into the atmosphere. My role was creative, so I was like, I can 3D print that. That's great, give me the file. So I have Tree Beacon, which was on show at the Royal Academy just now in London, and is now actually in a public square in London. Sea Beacon is why I'm here today. This is a sea beacon. Basically, it's the heart of a blue whale. It's called Heart of Okeanos, a very small one in the lobby. It's made of a new material because I felt very uncomfortable about putting a artificial reef material into the ocean unless it was something which was properly thought about. Now, cement is carbon heavy. It doesn't feel right. How can you make a cement which is not cement? Cement's recent. The Romans were using a Paleozoic cement, so they go and get things from Mount Vesuvius and mix it with water. And those structures are still strong and hard and getting harder today. So let's think of a different way of using cement. So I started working with geopolymer. It sounds really sophisticated. It's not. Geo is Earth. Poly is many, many Earths. So the new concrete is geopolymer. And inside it, mineralized CO2 from the atmosphere, destined for the atmosphere. So you remove it from chimneys, destined for the atmosphere, you turn it into a mineral. That mineral you trap into essentially Roman concrete, or the sophisticated modern version of that. So what we have here is an artificial reef. It's the beginning of an incredible project called Reefline. It's going to be part of the cultural identity of the city. So New York's got the High Line. You've got Anish Kapoor's Bean in Chicago. Now the Reefline is going to give Miami an identity. You can snorkel out to it. You can go down. These are essentially storm surge breakers. But what's more, working with marine biologists, they're studded with living corals. Corals that have the best chance of surviving in acid waters and temperatures and high temperatures. So I'm personally looking forward to working with them, but to get things right to start with Reefline, we decided to really see how we can actually make a material which is a carbon sink. So when you actually do something in the ocean, you're copying what corals do. They absorb CO2 and they build their backbones. These are modules which are made on land and then sunk into the ocean. It's a visionary, extraordinary science and art collaboration. The change maker at the head of it is Jimena Camino. Other representatives here are Molly Dent-Brocklehurst in the front row. And I'm just really excited to say that it's doable, it's here. There's a lot of hot air out there about carbon capture here, carbon capture there. Stuff's happening in a lab, but no one's really doing it. Carbon sink, with an X, is this new material. And we're going to have a giant multi-ton whale heart, blue whale heart, sunk off the coast of Miami to basically do two things. One, create the most natural backbone onto which you can mount corals and grow corals, and then also defend land, which would otherwise have to be rebuilt after every single storm surge. You have Hurricane Nicole currently going through Florida. We've just had another one recently, devastating. So these things are essentially barriers for natural habitats. It's great to be here today. Look up carbon sinks, speak to us later. Follow the Reefline. It's one of the most extraordinary projects for next year. Thank you.